Our next speaker is DTM Sarfaraz Nazir. He will be giving his level 1 project 2 speech from the visionary communication pathways. The purpose of the speech is writing a speech with a purpose. The purpose of this project is to learn or review basics method of writing speech with a defined purpose and to present a well-organized speech on any topic. The title of the speech is Expert Advice, DTM Sarfaraz Expert Advice. And DTM Tala, can you be the round commendation for it, because Toastmaster Azhar is not.
Okay. Commendation?
Commendation, yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Fair
commendation.
Fair.
Okay. Okay. Title, Expert Advice, DTM Sarfaraz. DTM Sarfaraz, Expert Advice.
Who do you seek when you need expert advice? It's obvious. If you have a heart problem, you will go to a cardiologist. If you have a toothache, you're going to go to a dentist. Or in case of some Pakistanis, when they want to find something about their future, they go to a man sitting on a street with a parrot that picks an envelope and tells their future. Madam Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters, what about financial advice? Where do you go when you need some advice on money matters or money management? Over the next few minutes, I'm going to give you 3 examples where I sought financial advice and what happened as a result of it. The first example is car payment. A long time ago, I bought a car from Ford Motor Company on an installment plan. Every month, the financial branch of the Ford company, Ford Financial, would mail me an invoice or a bill. I wrote a check and I mailed my check to the company. One day I was reading the newspaper and I came across an article written by some financial guru, financial expert. It said, it is your money. When you receive an invoice or a bill, don't send it right away. You should wait till the last moment. Now, I may have been a stupid person by thinking, oh, I can save money by following this advice. Now I realize it makes a difference if you're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars or thousands and thousands of rupees, but for about $100, you're not saving anything. But I decided to follow the advice anyway. I received the invoice, I wrote a check, put it in the envelope, but I did not mail it. I threw it on the back seat of my car. And I said to myself, I have 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, I'll mail it. A few days later, I threw some papers on top of that envelope. 1 month later, I was cleaning my car and I saw the envelope. It was still in my car. I mailed it. Now I was late. The next month when I received the invoice, it was a bill for their monthly payment, but it also had additional $20 late payment. I did not save anything, but it cost me $20. Why? Because I followed the advice of that financial expert. Now, this is not the only time I followed the advice from some expert through a newspaper. I also had car insurance. For my car insurance, my deductible was $500. This meant if I was involved in an accident, the car insurance company was going to pay for the repairs, except for $500 that I would have to pay from my pocket. The financial expert said, hey, if you have $500 deductible, change it to $1,000 because that will bring your insurance premium down. I said, oh, okay. So I called my insurance agent. I said, change my deductible from $500 to $1,000. And by doing that, I saved $10 per month. But 1 month after I changed my deductible from $500 to $1,000, I was driving one night. It was raining. I hit a pothole, the tire got damaged, and the shock made the airbags come out. There was a lot of damage. The car insurance paid for the repairs, but I had to pay $1,000. I saved $10 and ended up paying $500 more from my pocket. Now you tell me, what kind of math is this? I thought I was good in math, but by following the advice of these gurus, I was putting out money from my pocket instead of saving. Now, all my savings and all my expert advice has nothing to do with the cars. I also took the advice when it came to stocks. One time I saved some money and I decided to buy a stock in a company. It was a company that was doing very well. I thought I would make money. So I bought stock in just one company. In 1 year, I did very well. The price of the stock went up 32%. That's a great investment. Now, some financial planning company found out that I had stock. They sent me a letter inviting me to call them and make an appointment to come see them for free advice. Being a Pakistani, I love free advice. So I called and went to see them. And they said, oh, you have stock, just one stock. No, not good. You must diversify. And they asked me to sell my stock and buy stocks in different companies. And I said, well, they are the experts. So I did that. After 1 year, I made less than 10%. Now, on my own, I made 32%. Following the advice of this expert, I made less than 10%. You tell me the math, something is wrong with that math. So I've given you 3 examples where I followed the advice of financial experts in money matters, and I lost money each time I followed the expert. I have now stopped following the expert. If I see an article in the newspaper written by a person and it says financial expert, money management expert, I don't even read the article. Now you're going to say, when you need expert advice, where do you go, distinguished Toastmaster Sarfaraz? Well, fellow Toastmasters, now whenever I need financial advice or when I need expert advice, I listen to myself. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, DTM Sarfaraz, for that amazing speech. I'll start my evaluation as the lead evaluator now. The moment you start your speech, mostly you ask a question, and that is a very great way to start any speech because it interacts with the audience, and the audience, like, even if someone is like very drowsy, he'll wake up, oh, what was the question, did I miss it? So that's a great way to start a speech. And secondly, you gave examples at the start of the speech about the parrot, and again, that was a great way because we can relate to it, and it made us hooked to the to your speech. What do you have to say after that? The humor which you always bring in your speeches, and today your speech was filled with humor, is something which makes the audience and us glued to the screen. We do not want to miss even one word or one phrase of your humor. And that is one thing which is really good when giving a speech, because humor in a serious speech is always attracts the audience. You gave 3 examples from the life, from the financial advice, and 3 is a very good number. So that is also, and it was a speech with a purpose. That was your purpose of the project, was to write a speech with a purpose, and you gave a speech. I think the financial advisors or the financial experts were there to gain finance themselves and not you. That's what I think. They're not there to give us expert advice, but to have their bank account increased by giving us these advices. Just one thing, I would like, it's not a suggestion, it's if you want to challenge yourself, why not act out the voices of the characters you mentioned in your speech for the financial experts or the parrot one. I know it's a very difficult thing to do, but that is one thing, just to challenge yourself, because I know you are a great speaker. You had a flow in your speech. You made it humorous. You asked questions, and there was humor in your speech. And You give examples as well, which the audience could relate. But just to challenge yourself, why not act out the voices? Give some tonal variety in your speech. That's it from my side. And for I would like to now call for the round robin recommendation Toastmaster Faisal Sheikh.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster and lead evaluators. So I thoroughly enjoyed your speech, DTM Sarfaraz, and I echo the comments made by the lead evaluator that your speech was very engaging because of your vocal variety, gestures, and engaging body language, alongside your very thoughtful and careful use of humor. I mean, I have no recommendations as such. The only observation I had was with the speech title "Expert Advice." I was, in a way, intending this speech to be giving us some tips and techniques about financial advice, but I realized with your stories that you're making a point using humor, which I thought was a clever way of doing it. So that's the only observation I have to make. With that, I hand it back to you, Madam Lead Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Faisal. For the round robin commendations, I have DTM Talha.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rabia. And DTM Sarfaraz, once again, an absolutely fantastic speech. And that made us think, actually. There was so much wisdom behind that humor. And that's what I'd like to highlight. Oftentimes, when you read articles in the newspaper offering you advice, or websites offering investment tips, or you see the ads all over the net of like invest here, invest there, Okta FX and all that, one should think that why would they be doing that? I mean, why would anyone want to give you free advice and want you to prosper? Either they're not good enough to be able to charge for the advice, or they want to manipulate the market somehow. That's actually happens, right? In the world, we live in a world where everybody is running after cryptocurrencies and NFTs, and everything is teeming with absolutely atrocious advice about why it is like the second coming of Jesus Christ. And those of us who are able to look at it from a rational perspective, we find that what makes it different? Like, what is the inherent value in a Bitcoin? It's nothing, absolutely nothing. But once again, it's glorified. So I appreciate that wisdom, that anybody who offers you free advice, you should take it with a grain of salt, and you should always, which you disguise very well by saying that I consult myself. You should always do your research, because free advice is like everything else in the world. If you're getting something for free, you probably get what you pay for. So I thoroughly appreciate that wisdom, and that was also one of the perspective changing things that I got from your speech yet again. Over to you, Lead Evaluator.
Thank you so much, DTM Talha, for that detailed commendation report. DTM Sarfaraz, you have 1 minute for your feedback.
Thank you. 2 days ago, Toastmaster Azam Ali, Area 5 Director, asked me to meet him at Monal Restaurant in Lahore. My cousin's son took me to that restaurant. On the way, he asked me a question about credit. He said, "Isn't credit score important in America?" And that reminded me of one of the stories about the Ford Motor Company not mailing the tip. And I thought that'd be a good topic for a future speech. So I was planning on giving the speech for the Academy, but I found out through Toastmaster Imran Rana that the agenda already had 3 speakers. So I thought, well, sometimes in the future, I'll give this speech. Sometimes between 9 o'clock and 9:30, I was looking at the messages. I received a message from Toastmaster Imran Rana. He said, 2 speakers have dropped out. Would you like to give your speech? I know it's a short notice. As a Toastmaster, I could not say no. I said, okay, I have about 2 hours, so I'll prepare the speech. So this was an impromptu speech, a 6-minute speech, and I'm glad I got to give that speech. It's based on the feedback I received. I know it's requires some emotion. In the future, when I'm back at my home in Texas, I'll stand up and give the speech along with some voice makeovers. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, DTM Sarfaraz.